Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is not just birthday weekend, but today is my birthday. And you know what that means. It's,
Time for a good hike.
It sure is. Yeah, and today we are hiking
Evans Peak and Golden Ears.
Yeah, let's go. It's so exciting. I woke up this morning and it was like a birthday gift. Last time I came to Golden Ears, it was fully snowed, which is totally fine. You can still do it in the snow, but I wanted to wait till it was sunny and the snow had melted and we didn't have to bring on snowshoes or anything like that. So today is the day. People hiked it yesterday and they didn't even need crampons, and they showed pictures and it looks very safe. So I highly recommend, now that it's springtime, before you guys do a trail, go check it on AllTrails. Click the photos button and you'll see the most recent photo that's updated, and you'll get a kind of idea of what the trail conditions are like, because just because it's snowy in some mountains doesn't mean it's snowy in other mountains, and just because it's sunny in the city does not mean it's sunny at the top of the mountain. So it's always important to be mountain safe that way. But for today's vlog, I guess I'll say, it's going to be a little different. We're just going to do this hike because yesterday was a wonderful day. I had a bunch of surprises this weekend, from going to Gibson's, which I'll show on the screen here briefly, to enjoying Gibson's and going on hikes there.
Yeah, we got 2 hikes there.
Yeah, to family dinner, and then I had a whole wonderful surprise birthday party yesterday where we got food at Nuba, I believe it was called. Mm-hmm. And then I had my friends and family there, which what more could a girl want? And then we went and walked the seawall after, which was amazing. So obviously I didn't film because I didn't really know what was happening, because it was a surprise. And I was so excited. I just want to spend time with my loved ones. So today's hike will be today's vlog. And hopefully I inspire you guys, and hopefully it's wonderful conditions to do this hike. It is more of a moderate to intermediate hike, but I will update you more once I finish it. And yeah. Those are the thoughts for now. We're going to continue going, and I will update you as we go. Hello. A much sweatier version of me has emerged. Evans Peak is beautiful, but you can tell when you're here and hiking this last couple kilometers, because now we're in the last final couple kilometer stretch, that it has been washed out this winter. So this is when trail markers are really, really important. And I've said it before on my channel, but trail markers are usually orange in this area. They can be different colors, like blue means it's a shared path with bikes, but a lot of these parks have orange ones. And I'll put a picture somewhere on the screen so you guys can see, but it's very important to keep remembering when you're on the trail. Like right now you can kind of tell that this is a trail right here. But as we come up this way, I mean, it is a trail and it is kind of obvious, but at the same time, there's a lot of tree roots and it's all very, very washed out. But right by Nate, that top right behind that tree, I don't think you can see it because it's out of view right now, is a trail marker. And it's very important as you go along to not only keep up with your AllTrails, but to keep up with the trail markers so that you don't get lost. So that's my tidbit for now. There's a very cute waterfall behind us, and I am very sweaty, and I'm going to continue going, but I just want to make that remark before I forget as a good reminder, because I've said it before. Now that it's spring and some of these trails that haven't been perfectly manicured yet are opening up, yeah, they are washed out, so you better keep track so you don't get lost. So right now it's springtime, and most people are thinking about the birds nesting and coming out for spring, bears having their babies, and everything coming alive. But one thing that's also happening is plants are having their babies too. So moss right now are quite often in their sporophyte stage, and those are those little cute little doilies I showed you. I'll show you again. They're right here. And so you can get really excited when you come into the forest, because if you looked under the moss, you'll see that they're having babies too. I mean, I know it's not exactly the same thing, but they are sporophytes and they release spores, and when those spores end up in a moist, perfect, ideal area, new moss grows. So that feels like also baby season as well for them, which is so cute. And also too, important to note, very, very cool, you'll see a bunch of cones, and these are also plants' way of making babies, but these are trees' ways. And it's very crazy to think that something this small can become trees this big. And of course, it takes a few years, but it is a really quite crazy thing to think about when you think of something so big coming from something so small like this. But that is all. Right now, I'm very out of breath, and Nate's killing it. And this is our current view. Let's go. We made it to the top, and the view's pretty crazy. Look at this. Yeah, pretty freaking sick.
Worth it.
So worth it. Out of breath, but for showers, we were up here and before. I don't even know if you can see. We're down where that bridge is down there. I don't even think you can see it. But quite a trek, especially in the last little bit, but so worth. And actually, that's Baker in the distance right there. So very cool. And right now we're just looking at the Golden Ears Valley. Maybe that's what you call it. But yeah, we're going to enjoy this view and cool off for a little bit. But so stoked and so exciting. All right, y'all, we made it back to the car. Thank goodness. We got a little lost, but it all worked out. It was my bad. Look how many bugs are on Nate's car. I really don't know why that is, but I will put it somewhere on the screen if I can figure out why, because that's kind of gross. But we are hyped. I am hyped to be in this car. So I will catch up with you in a second. I'm going to avoid these bugs. All right, that was wild. Lots of bugs, but overall the hike was incredible. It was very hard and a very good wake-up call and start to the season. I think Nate also agrees. Yeah, he's shaking his head. It was nice switchbacks in the beginning, and then halfway through I thought it was the steep part, because it was very steep. There was a previous washout and it was kind of a grind. But then we hit snow and crossed over, and that's when it was actually steep. We were using ropes to help climb up the rock. If I have any photos, I'll insert it. I don't know if I did, because I was really focusing on not dying. But the recap, which probably also important to note because there is no service in this area, is that we walked around 9.23 kilometers in about 4 hours, and we had an elevation gain of just over a kilometer, which is pretty crazy. It was very wild, but it was so fun. It was a beautiful day. I couldn't ask for a more perfect day to hike. It was hot enough to take off our shirts on the way up and tank top up, and it was cool enough that we didn't, sweat complete balls, just a little bit. But it was just really nice, and the view was incredible. It's been on my bucket list for a while, so I'm just so thankful that Nate wanted to do it with me too, and it's just so awesome. So anybody who's able to do it and up for the challenge and prepared with proper footwear and all the right gear should give it a go, because it is doable right now. I didn't need crampons, so they would help. And it was an incredible view, and there's no need to do a day pass for Golden Ears until May 16th, which is pretty awesome. So we're definitely taking advantage of that. I think the last thing I'll probably note is, I think I've said it many times on my channel before, but I'll say it again. We saw these really nice kids go up the hill today, and they were all in a big group, and they were so passionate and they were so happy. But quite a few of them weren't wearing good footwear, and that's not necessarily a bad thing per se for hikes. If you're doing Lynn Canyon or anything like that, you can get away with wearing, running shoes or Jordans or sneakers. But definitely on these hikes where you have snow and stuff at the top, I highly recommend to just look at the AllTrails before, click that photo, see what the conditions are, because though they will make it just fine, we helped them down to, but they were already got up, they did a great job. They probably got all the snow in their shoes, and they were, a few of them, quite scared and nervous about going down the slippery slopes, because everything that goes up has to go down. So yeah, just remember to always wear proper footwear. If possible, try wearing boots, hiking boots preferable, with ankle supports so that you don't roll your ankle. And if you can, layer, bring your All Trails, which is a must, and maybe do hiking poles, but always bring lots of water, because for them, it took them about 3.5 hours to get up, and they still are on their way down. So make sure you bring lots of food and water, because there's no problem taking your time on hikes. There's no problem taking breaks. It's just important to be able to fuel yourself so you're not on the mountain for 7 hours with no food or water, because that is when you start running into some troubles. But yeah, that is all my note for now. Thank you so much for joining. It's been an incredible, incredible, incredible birthday, and I'm just so thankful to have shared it with all my loved ones and share it with Nate today, and for us to go on a beautiful hike on a beautiful day. But I am absolutely starving, so I'm gonna check off. I have work early in the morning, and I'm so excited to make some food. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this short video. And if any of you have done Evans Peak or been to Golden Ears Park, please put it down below. I'd love to hear it. Anyways, that's all for now. Bye.